You can brush your hair. You better take that down, put that brush in your, on that damn brush. The idea of aspiring to the dress and the brush, this is what we eat. You can have the leftovers. Give them to me. I'll starve before I eat anything. I prepare this with my hand, I'll starve. I'll be damned. I don't want your words in my mouth. I don't want your clothes in my back. I don't even want the smell of you in my nose. You are my open enemy. And then they start having kids who were born here. Let's continue. More intent on preserving a past than transforming Western society or overthrowing capitalism, they created maroon settlements, ran away, became outliers, and tried to find a way home, even if it meant what? That's important to understand. You're Howard University. I don't give a damn about John Harvard's plantation. What about Harvard? What about Harvard? You know, U.S. recognized us as the 11th. I don't care if they recognize us as the 111 billion college. Who the hell is U.S. News and World Report? But damn. In fact, please rate us as the dead last. Why? Then I know we must be doing something right. You're my open enemy. Open enemy. Come to you for licensure. I spit on your PhD. You know why I got one? Why? To show you how much child's play it was. And to hold it in open and naked contempt. And when you come for me, I say, please, it was so easy. It was a joke. Now you go get one so we can take over the whole place in our spare time. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. It's child's play. It's a game. However, with the advent of formal colonialism and the incorporation of black labor into a more fully governed social structure, there's social structure buried in the sentence. Meaning what? With the advent of formal colonialism, meaning what? Now you set up a system where you don't let them be maroons. You go get them. Namely their children. And you train children differently. Train you to respect me. And keep you away from them crazy black people talking half African. And keep you away from them Negroes in the corner. And bring you up in here, let $3 in the AP class, and drill in your head that if you keep your nose clean and lower your expectations and just do what I do, you too can achieve on my scale. And then you shrink to those low expectations and think an A in that course translates into anything other than your internalized inferiority. He says, a more direct critique of the West and colonialism emerged. Meaning what? You knew something was wrong, so you still master it, and then now your whole being shifts from not caring what they think, from keeping it away from you, to what? Critiquing it. And now the black intellectuals now, the ones who are the most famous, are these Negroes who spend their entire life critiquing the West. This system of racism and white supremacy must be destroyed. And this system, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get in these. Man, you spend a lot of time. It's like somebody obsessed with somebody else. Why you keep talking about them? You don't work around us. You don't talk to us. You spend your whole life explaining who we are to somebody else. Class of 150 people. There's 3 black people in there, and you don't even see them because you spend your whole life performing for this group. Can't wait to get on TV and apologize for Negroes. Or argue with somebody. Let's continue. He said, however, with the advent of formal colonialism and incorporation of black labor into a more fully governed social structure, a more direct critique of the West and colonialism emerged, a revolt set on transforming social relations and revolutionizing Western society rather than reproducing African social life. Ralph Ellis and Toni Morrison. Now your objective isn't maroonage, your objective is radical inclusion. Not a bad objective, but a very different one. Now you want to build an America that never existed. This is the promise of American democracy. No, it's not! You went from, you keep that damn brush and dress, to, I'm going to trick this, I brought to this brush and dress radical retransformations. So it's no longer your brush and dress or my blush and dress. It's our brush and dress, and it's a new thing, modernity. can't see me. No, you're invisible because you're a damn fool. Why are you worried about what he can see? Understand, you done spent your whole life worried about what somebody else thinks, and then you win the National Book Award in 1952 because they say, good job, Negro, great job. That's right, think about me, I'm in your head now. Anybody else played any sport let you know, once they're in your head, you might as well stop. You can stop lining up on the line of scrimmage. Why? They're in your head now. All you trying to do is not get knocked out. We continue. The contradictions of colonialism produced the native bourgeoisie, here's what Angie's talking about, more intimate with European life and thought, whose assigned task was to help rule, trained to be junior partners in the colonial state. Members of this bourgeoisie experienced both racism from Europeans and a deep sense of alienation from their native lives and culture, Henry Louis Gates. In other words, I am what? He says what? He says, racism from Europeans. Okay, this is a racist system. This is a racist system. This is a racist system. And a deep sense of alienation from their native lives and culture. Meaning what? This is a racist system, but where do I stay? I'm from West Virginia. I can't go sit on the front porch. Why? Because them Negroes watched my last television special and they waiting for me to come back to Piedmont to kick me in there because they say your mama didn't train you to clown black people like that, Skip. Now I'm screaming racism, they're looking like, yeah, it's racism. But who told you go over there in that neighborhood in the first place? Right. In other words, now I'm in between. I'm the colonial bourgeoisie. I know it's racism, but what I've detached myself from is the black radical tradition. So I can't even argue. If you go read the transcript of the arrest of Gates, when he went in the room and the cop followed him in the room into his house, he turned around and started giving it back to him, and he said, well, I'm looking at your ID or whatever. Gates' response, ask your mama who I am. Oh, now you want to play the dozens. You don't even know how to respond anymore. Black people looking and reading that saying, boy, this dude has been so far out of it, he don't even know what to do. He's just frustrated. You see black people frustrated and didn't want to get black, but have forgotten how. That's who Robinson is talking about. See, you know, it's racism. See, I'll be out here and I'll be back with my people. Your people. Look at this dude. Where are they? What part of the city? Quick. That's what I thought. You don't even know where your people are. In other words, but that's the detachment. So we continue. Their contradictory role as victims of racial domination and tools of the empire, as Western educated elites, feeling like aliens among the dominant society, as they just said, as well as among the masses, compelled some of these men and women to revolt. Now. These are the Negroes who spent enough time in that situation, who then realized, oh, hell no. My mistake was not in wanting in, that's how I was trained. My mistake wasn't in alienating myself from my group. Why? Because that's how I was trained. My mistake, now that I recognize it, is not acting upon that recognition and doing something different. And that is certainly a story that Du Bois would recognize.
Right.
That's Du Bois.
Right.
Yeah, that's Du Bois. Du Bois in 1906, I was going down to take a letter to Joel Chandler Harris at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It's the same Joel Chandler Harris that told the Uncle Remus stories, which are basically the African trickster stories that this white man overheard and then made a mint retelling. He said, I'm going down there to protest something. On my way down there, I heard Negroes talking, I seen fire, and they told me that a Lister black man named Sam Hose cut off his hands at the wrist and got his knuckles on display in a butcher shop in downtown Atlanta. I went back to the campus of Atlanta University and got my rifle and sat on the front porch. At that moment, I realized that until then, I thought that the world had been thinking wrong about race. I realized this ain't about education. These people know damn well what this is. And he said, I spent the rest of my life fighting this system, but not just fighting it as a response. I lived it as an African person, as a black person, as a Negro. In other words, I'm now going to ground myself in what then would be characterized as the black radical tradition. I'm going to spend the rest of my life. I thought that if you just made the logical case and argued a little bit, this thing would open up. Then I realized, here I am about to deliver a letter to these people. I can't even get down there because they killing black people in the street. Now I knew they lynched people.